You know what 50 basically just did? He just teased the sequel. He's like, yo, at first it was the Pops. Now the second season. You know the second season is usually more lit than the first. Second season is watching how they were tag teaming. Justin, Christian, and Diddy.
As scrutiny surrounding Sean Diddy Combs continues to intensify, his sons are stepping forward with a documentary of their own, one designed to reveal a deeply personal side of their father rarely seen by the public. Industry insiders suggest the project could feature Diddy himself breaking his silence on camera for the first time, a moment that would dramatically raise the stakes and draw global attention. The timing is no coincidence. The announcement arrives amid the massive buzz surrounding 50 Cent and his headline-dominating documentary series, which has already ignited fierce debate across social media and the entertainment world. With reports that 50 Cent may be preparing a follow-up installment, the story is quickly evolving beyond rival films into a full-scale documentary showdown, a rare moment where two powerful narratives could collide and transform personal history into a worldwide conversation audiences won't be able to ignore.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's sex trafficking trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still convince your father's innocent? Your dad was up for years! Your dad was up for years for abusing women! That's wrong! You think I'm wrong!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front.
Justin Combs and Christian Combs are set to appear in the upcoming documentary, marking the first time either son has publicly addressed the controversy surrounding their father, Sean Diddy Combs, as legal proceedings continue to unfold. Their participation instantly heightens the emotional stakes, offering audiences a rare glimpse into how the next generation of the Combs family is navigating intense public scrutiny and the pressure of defending their family name. With ongoing legal attention casting a shadow over the family's legacy, the project carries far more weight than a typical celebrity documentary. If Diddy himself ultimately chooses to appear on camera, the film could evolve into more than a personal narrative. It may become a pivotal moment aimed at shaping public perception during one of the most critical chapters of his life, blending family perspective, media pressure, and the complex reality of fame under serious public and legal challenges.
To be in this, it shows clearly we are also going to hear from Diddy himself on a phone call while he's in prison at Fort Dix. Already seeing the way people are reacting, I do not think this is hitting for them the way they want it to. And I think this is also because everybody knows that Diddy is actually appealing his sentence that he was found guilty of right now. I think that if Diddy just took accountability for the things that we have all seen him do wrong, he would do a lot better than trying to push a certain narrative.
The upcoming documentary focused on the sons of Sean Diddy Combs promises rare, behind-the-scenes access, including what is described as a recorded phone call with their father from prison at Federal Correctional Institution Fort Dix. Yet early reactions suggest the project may not be landing the way its creators expected. With Diddy's legal battle still unfolding and appeals reportedly underway, many viewers believe genuine accountability would resonate more strongly than efforts to reshape the narrative. Though the family appears determined to present their perspective in a surprising twist, one of the loudest reactions hasn't come from a supporter but from longtime rival 50 Cent. Through reposting the trailer on Instagram, he publicly weighed in, seemingly taking another jab at Justin Combs and Christian Combs amid their ongoing tension. Before diving into that back and forth, let's take a closer look at exactly what 50 Cent shared, and why his reaction is adding even more fuel to an already heated situation.
Come tap in as expected. 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Cent and Justin, will be dropping a docuseries of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus network. Well, 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promoted the trailer where you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the record, and he put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really pro.
The moment the documentary trailer connected to Cent Diddy, Combs, and his family surfaced online, the backlash erupted almost instantly. Comment sections across social media filled with sharp criticism, as viewers and commentators questioned the project's intentions. Many skeptics argued that the film felt less like a transparent account and more like an attempt to shape public perception at a time when scrutiny surrounding Diddy remains extremely high. As the reaction intensified, Lemuel Plummer, CEO of Zeus Network and a longtime associate of Diddy, stepped forward to address the controversy publicly, attempting to calm the narrative before it spiraled further. The speed and scale of the online response made one thing unmistakably clear: this documentary is not just another entertainment release. It has become part of an already volatile public conversation unfolding in real time.
To his Instagram right after this trailer for this docu-series dropped, and he was getting tons of backlash from people saying they do not want this crap, they only want to see baddies. He said, to be clear, this documentary series is centered on providing Justin and Christian the opportunity to share their personal story and lived experiences, particularly as their lives have also been directly impacted. This project is not intended to endorse, defend, or vindicate Diddy or any individual, nor does it seek to justify or minimize any action that had been alleged or adjudicated. Do you find this part odd because of all the wording that was just shown in the trailer? The lies, the truth, the foes. Anyways, as a network, we believe it's important for allowing individuals to speak for themselves, just as any credible network entering the documentary space does. Our role is to provide a platform for the stories to be told honestly and without prejudgment. What viewers will see is raw, real, and authentic storytelling. That is the essence of this project. We respectfully ask that the series not be prejudged before it's seen. Everyone will have the opportunity to watch, assess the content, and arrive at their own.
For some observers, this documentary appears to be a calculated effort to shape public perception. And it's not the first time Cent Diddy Combs has faced accusations of trying to control the narrative surrounding his image. Timing of the project has raised eyebrows, arriving at a moment when scrutiny over his legal challenges remains intense, and a competing documentary linked to 50 Cent is already dominating headlines. According to emerging reports, even as legal proceedings were unfolding, Diddy was allegedly working behind the scenes alongside his sons to help present a more favorable public portrayal. If those claims prove accurate, they add another layer of complexity to a project that many viewers already see as less of a personal reflection and more of a carefully timed strategic response.
Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Oh, thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
If the judge, in fact, feels as though Diddy is trying to circumvent the rules of the prison and he's doing things outside of what he's allowed to do, that's going to carry a lot of weight when we talk about being released on bail, because what they're trusting is that you will abide by the rules that allow you to be out.
Are people really being paid to rally support for Diddy outside of his trial? Because that is what many are now alleging, as people have been standing across the street from the courthouse in free Puff and free Diddy shirts. With, for example, journalist and content creator Emily Hagan posting a TikTok of this group of people in matching shirts that also then included this interaction.
These are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no. It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. The lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm
And while that TikTok was initially posted around 5 days ago, it's now gotten a lot more traction as people like 50 Cent, who famously not a big Diddy fan, has started posting about it and trolling Diddy by posting seemingly edited images of him in the shirts and writing things like, okay, now where do I send my $20 invoice, guys?
The timing of this documentary has sparked intense debate. It arrives just as Sean Diddy Combs has reportedly filed an appeal, urging a federal court to overturn his convictions and 50-month sentence, or at the very least reduce the penalty and allow an earlier release. That legal backdrop gives the project far greater significance, leading many observers to question whether the series is simply telling a personal story or strategically shaping public perception while the courtroom battle quietly continues behind the scenes.
Diddy Combs seeking an immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those prostitution-related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment. This week, lawyers for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs urging a federal appeals court in New York to either order his immediate release and reverse his conviction or lighten his over 4-year prison sentence.
This appeal was expected, especially when the defense filed a motion for a new trial and a notice of appeal. And the arguments are attacking.
One of the most striking aspects of this unfolding story is how closely Justin Combs and Christian Combs have become tied to the growing controversies surrounding their father, Sean Diddy Combs. Their decision to appear together in a documentary portraying Diddy in a more favorable light, while both face heightened public scrutiny, has raised serious questions among observers. For many, the move feels less like simple family support and more like a strategic effort to defend their father's image during an increasingly complicated moment. The tension escalated further when Christian Combs briefly posted, and later deleted, a message aimed at 50 Cent in response to his documentary series, prompting a public reaction that only intensified the spotlight on both projects. Meanwhile, court filings and circulating images have sparked additional debate about Justin Combs' presence at events now under scrutiny. Although no legal conclusions have been reached, these unresolved questions add another layer of intrigue to a documentary that may have been intended to clarify the family's perspective, but could instead deepen the public controversy.
For Diddy and sometimes others sexually assaulted them. There are also allegations that Diddy forced these victims to have sex with prostitutes as he touched himself. He called these situations freak-offs, and oftentimes he recorded them. Here's where some of the allegations against his son, Justin Combs, come in. So all of this takes us back to February, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and sex workers. There's actually a picture of Justin Combs with an allegedly underage girl shown in the lawsuit. Now, in this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited and a freak-off ensued. As an aside, this is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise.
Christian Combs is also facing increasing scrutiny, with reports indicating he has been named in a lawsuit involving alleged misconduct at a yacht party linked to his father, Sean Diddy Combs. According to the court filing, a woman claims she was drugged and harassed during the event. These allegations have not been resolved in court, but their emergence adds a serious new dimension to the ongoing controversy. As a result, the spotlight surrounding the documentary has only intensified, placing it directly alongside the legal and reputational challenges facing the family, complicating how audiences may interpret their attempt to present their side of the story.
And she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use among sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that it was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Markey to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Markey alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private area.
There was also the time that Christian was involved in helping his dad cover up a shooting. This was even referenced in the docuseries that 50 released.
In an alleged shooting cover-up. According to court documents, it happened on September 12th, 2022, outside Diddy's Chalice Studios. Lil Rod says Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Combs disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and she says it was
as anticipation grows around 50 Cent's reported follow-up documentary. Justin Combs and Christian Combs appear to be taking a proactive approach. By stepping forward to participate in their own project, the sons of Sean Diddy Combs seem intent on addressing the situation before another wave of scrutiny arrives. To many observers, the timing feels deliberate, an effort to shape public perception and present their side of the story before the spotlight intensifies again. In that sense, the documentary becomes more than a personal account. It turns into part of a larger battle over narrative, reputation, and control of the public image.
What do you mean 50 Cent got 140 more hours of Diddy just recording himself doing all this crazy stuff on camera? 140 extra hours. Do you know how many terabytes that footage possibly is? How many hard drives? How many bottles of baby? All right, you telling me we got the whole 4-part series documentary and that was just, what, a nickel of what he has just sitting? Like, 50 is going to use this to just crush this man. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm still stuck on Buddy, the producer, that kept waking up every single day, still there with his butt on soul. Like, bro woke up every single day like, ouch, brother.
Shit is about to hit the fan. After what 50 just came across in that secret little Diddy footage that he paid from the videographer that Diddy didn't pay, they are saying 50 has footage that will not only add more time to Diddy's sentence, but Diddy might not ever come out. Listen up, check this out. Now y'all know that footage that where Diddy is behind the scenes talking to his lawyer and all of this stuff, and people like, damn, what was Diddy recording it? Well, Diddy was recording it because he thought he was about to beat the case. So he wanted to do a Netflix documentary. Didn't pay the guy, and then 50 got all 140 hours of footage of secret Diddy tactics. Well, there's a guy named Neil who was mentioned in the court, works right up under Diddy, was organizing everything. Allegedly, they are saying that he is on video, film, tampering with witnesses, giving out addresses, offering money, bribing, we'll pay for your lawyers, all kind of shit that could be counted as witness tampering, obstruction of justice. And 50 of all people has his hands on this footage. And I'm hearing that this could implicate Diddy's lawyers in some bullshit. They could be charged. This shit is getting wild. And I'm hearing that this 50 Cent documentary is just the fucking tip of the iceberg.
Some industry observers believe the decision by Justin Combs and Christian Combs to participate in the documentary may carry deeper pressure than it appears. With their careers and public identities so closely tied to the legacy of their father, Sean Diddy Combs, the project could represent more than simple family support. It may reflect the reality that their futures are deeply connected to his public reputation. Diddy's standing continues to face challenges. The ripple effects could inevitably shape their own opportunities and public image. That reality raises the stakes for the documentary, while quietly revealing the complex family dynamics unfolding behind the scenes, an aspect few are openly willing to discuss.
They were born into this. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. The choice to that guy. If that man calls and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, what else are they going to do? They gotta bet on him. I'm sure they're all praying he makes it, because if not, what are they going to do? And they definitely can't count on Grandma Janice. They're screwed. One way or the other, they're screwed.
So there's no escape for them.
How? Was there escape for OJ's children? Their daddy is the new OJ. And we already know he done it. Like OJ's kids went through hell. And there was reasonable doubt. We didn't see a video of him doing anything. We didn't see him running around in a towel with a knife, We seen that with the Diggler.
Some of the most serious claims circulating around Sean Diddy Combs involve his relationship with members of his own family. Freddie P., a former artist associated with Diddy's circle, has publicly alleged that he witnessed troubling behavior involving Diddy and his stepson Quincy Brown, claims he suggests trace back to Quincy's early years. These allegations remain unproven, but their emergence adds a deeply sensitive dimension to the ongoing controversy, complicating the family's public narrative and raising difficult questions about the personal dynamics behind the story now unfolding in the spotlight.
That wasn't yours. Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? We make sure he's separated with him. And you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother don't gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy. About Quincy, right? I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I I don't know.
Albie Short son?
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son now? Like,
This documentary, if it can truly be called that, appears to many critics as a calculated attempt by Sean Diddy Combs to regain control of the narrative and reshape public perception. Every interview, scene, and statement seems carefully positioned to steer attention away from the growing controversies surrounding him. Project also arrives amid an escalating clash with 50 Cent, whose own documentary series has intensified scrutiny. In response, Diddy's legal team has reportedly issued a cease and desist and is pursuing potential legal action against both 50 Cent and Netflix, seeking more than $1 billion in damages, turning what might have been a personal story into a high-stakes battle over narrative, reputation, and influence.
Diddy's legal team sent Netflix a cease and desist letter, but now the big rumor is that they're preparing a defamation lawsuit, potentially for $1 billion. Over the Sean Combs The Reckoning documentary. They're claiming it uses stolen and unauthorized footage to create a shameful hit piece and damages reputation.
Is there precedent? Because when it's a documentary, footage doesn't necessarily have to be approved if it's considered a news piece.
And since you didn't watch it, Ebro, there is one piece.
I watched some of it.
Where, there's very intimate footage of Diddy with his lawyers. But in the documentary, it also talks about how he hired a young person to film him for X amount of hours, a lot, and didn't pay him. So if 50 comes along and is like, I will pay you for this footage.
Well, unless
that's the biggest congrats, by the way.
Well, depending on what the documentation is between that,
that person
and Diddy.
Yeah.
Right. If that documentation says that this footage is yours, if I am paid, if I am not paid, the footage is mine.
Well, no, but I think the default would be it's his. If they didn't end up doing paperwork and the guy's just been allowed access, that's his footage.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. If there's not paperwork.
So if Diddy never signed paperwork, he was like, "No, I'm gonna get you when I get you."
Yeah, that's right.
Now Diddy never gave him $1. Now Diddy went to jail. He's holding all this footage. 50 goes, "I'd like that footage." All right.
The cease and desist order appears unlikely to slow down 50 Cent. According to reports, Sean Diddy Combs allegedly failed to pay an editor connected to the footage, an issue some observers have compared to disputes raised by Lil Rod. In a calculated move, 50 Cent reportedly stepped in, covered the outstanding costs, and secured exclusive rights to the material. If accurate, that decision would place full control of the footage, and the narrative that follows, firmly in his hands, demonstrating how strategy and timing can sometimes shape public perception more powerfully than legal threats alone.
It's your boss. Yo, man, how 50 get, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. This is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated.
By placing his sons at the center of the spotlight, Sean Diddy Combs appears to frame himself as a devoted father and misunderstood public figure, subtly shifting attention away from the controversies surrounding him. In contrast to the more critical narrative associated with 50 Cent's documentary, this project is widely viewed as a carefully managed portrayal, one designed to protect the family's image and shape public perception rather than fully explore the broader story.
Stuff in my fanny pack, King. The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy. Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing. The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries.
Iranian. Now, he posts this as a text message. I don't know if this was a text message to his lawyer, where maybe he was instructing his lawyer to write this letter to the judge. If you don't know, the judge is accepting letters in the case of the sentencing of Sean P. Diddy Combs, who's set to be sentenced tomorrow. And 50 Cent decided to write his letter to the judge as well. If you don't know, at this point, I think it's abundantly clear that 50 Cent is the baby father of the child that belongs to not only 50, but the woman that is identified as Jane Doe. That woman, I think we now know, is Daphne Joy. So Daphne Joy's baby daddy is 50 Cent. So maybe there's a reason and there's some relevance here for 50 to have somewhat of a letter being sent to the judge. Why? Well, one of the two victims, or the main two victims, which is victim one, we all know is Cassie, but victim two is known as Daphne Joy. Who's Daphne Joy's baby father? 50 Cent. So he writes a letter and he says, "Dear Judge Summarian, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there." This is how you know he actually wrote this. This is bad grammar. Despite him trying to teach a class in there. As you're already aware, the government has spent maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in two locations simultaneously. Later, his sons, who's dealing with his own R-word allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keep most of the baby oil away from the general public, and babies need it. My Netflix doc on the
50 Cent appears well aware of the controversies surrounding the sons of Sean Diddy Combs. Months earlier, he reportedly submitted a formal letter to the court opposing Diddy's early release, pointing to concerns about alleged behavior linked to members of the family. The move added fresh intensity to the long-running feud and helps explain why anticipation for 50 Cent's follow-up documentary remains so high, keeping both the Combs family and the broader public conversation firmly in the spotlight.